this is going to be a slightly deeper one into banking operations and all. Some of you are requesting that if, let's say, a bank clerk is interviewed for this position, so what are the kind of questions that can be asked to the person? Now, we're not claiming that this is going to be an exhaustive session in the sense that we'll cover everything. What we'll do is that we'll give you an idea as to what it can be like for somebody who's a bank clerk. Having said that, if you're not working in a bank already or you do not have any experience, all this is going to help you frame your answers better, because there are many things that you will learn, things like this you will learn going forward when you start working, and there are things that will help you in the interview. So be patient even if you're not working as a clerk. But yes, somebody who's been working in any capacity in any bank, in a private bank or in a PSU as a clerk and all, is going to be very, very relevant. So we are assuming that Samir is working as a clerk in some public sector bank, and then he has appeared for this. He's going to appear for this interview. So that is what the profile is like, right? So let's proceed. So Samir, as we can see that you are already working as a clerk in Syndicate Bank. So how do you define a typical day for somebody who works in a bank as a clerk? What is your typical day like?
Sir, my typical day involves first of all taking deposits from the customers, also handling their withdrawals. I'm also involved in depositing checks. I'm also involved in cashing checks, so handling of checks and deposits are my primary function. Here, I have to be very careful about the identification part. Okay. When a customer comes, I have to ensure that he's the right person. That's the most important my job, and I have to ensure that his signature also matches. So even though he is the same person, but for some reason his signatures do not match, tomorrow he can take me to the court and say, no, I was not the person who did it. So identify the person and identify his signature very well. Ensure that tomorrow I will not be caught at any kind of mistake on my part. So handling cash again. Secondly, I told you the checks, and then identification of customer, I will say, are my three roles.
So these are your primary duties, you are saying,
sir.
Right? If you listed your duties and all, if I ask you, clerk is the first point of contact in a bank.
Yes.
What are some of the important things about this role?
Sir, I believe the image of the bank. We clerks carry the image of the bank, because we are the first point of contact for any customer when they enter. We are the one who greet them. If we greet them properly, we show that professional demeanor in our behavior. That goes and talks a lot about the image of bank. So that's very important for us. Our professional demeanor, our presentability. I just cannot walk into a bank wearing non-professional clothes. So that's important. The way I talk, how patiently I listen to my customer, that's very important, and how politely I talk to him, so that I ultimately becomes my customer. And if someone is already my customer, he always thinks he has chosen a right bank and remains with us.
So what would you say are the, let's say, 4 or 5 most important qualities for a good clerk? Let's put it this way.
Sir, I think, as I have already defined my job profile and I talked about how we are the image, I feel, sir, most important thing for me will be the carefulness, careful and attentive to the details. Okay. As the signature matching point that I was talking about, sir. I have to be very patient. I have to listen to the customers. I have to understand what they want to say. Even if on set I have a reply, I will have to listen to him first. I have to be very polite. Even if the question, which might seem like it's a very obvious question, why I'm even trying to explain, but I have to be very patient and polite and explain it to him. And when we talk nicely, he understands. And then moving on, sir, I told you about the attention to detail, where any kind of mistake does not happen from my part. And then, sir, honesty, integrity is the most important part.
So you've been following all this, Amir?
Yes, sir. I would try my level best.
You like your job? You like your current job?
Yes, I have learned a lot, sir, in this job. But yes, as any person, I also want to move up the ladder, sir.
Right. So how committed are you to the bank?
Sir, I'm 100% committed.
You're 100% committed.
I'm already working for 2 years. I see my growth here in the bank. Yes.
If let's say there is a scenario where some lie, some lying to the bank or some manipulation is going to benefit you. Would you do that?
No, sir, never, never.
You would never lie
Yes,
to the
yes,
bank.
yes.
You're committed, you are honest.
Yes, sir, I will never do that.
So let me ask you another question then. You are committed to the bank. Let's say in bank's interest, you have to lie to the customer. Again, let's assume that it's a very small, innocuous lie. Just for the interest of the bank, only for the interest of the bank, you have to lie to the customer. Would you do that?
Sir, if it is not harming anyone, I believe, and I'm sure about it that it's no way harming any people, and if it's in the interest of bank, I think.
But how would you decide that, Samir?
Sir, that is what I said. I'll evaluate what I'm going to say, and if it is not harming anyone, I think I will do that.
So you're saying basically that you would take a call based on a judgment.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So this is where we
would like to break the interview.
We'd like to break the interview. Now, all this went fine, but this question we want to do it. This last one. Would you lie to the customer for the benefit of the bank? And if you realized, I asked this
a follow-up question.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah. A follow-up question.
It could have been worse.
It could have been much worse.
This was not bad. This was a disaster answer. The moment you say that you will lie for anyone, for yourself, for bank, for your mother, for your father, your integrity is out of the equation. You are a liar, you are a cheat. You will never be allowed in any position of responsibility. You should not be selected. If someone selects you after that, it's question on his integrity. Please, no kind of justification will, take it to almost, these are, where Buddha's path will fail. These are strict, the red flags. You cannot justify this. कल आपकी मदर को एकदम बहुत सीरियस हो जाए तो 10 लाख रुपए आप बैंक से निकाल भी लोगे यार. How will you start justifying? Once you go south, there is just one way down. It goes to hell. Don't fall into that trap. You are never lying for yourself. You are never lying for bank. Keep this in mind.
The moment you introduce subjectivity into it, for example, I did not say, would you lie to the customers? And he did not say yes. No. I induced him into answering in a way like that. I comforted him saying कि जैसे जो मेरा indication था, it was like, it's okay. You can kind of lie a bit. That is what I induced him into. So be careful. They might say that in a way as if you will be doing them a favor by cooperating in doing something because it's good for the organization. Fine. So it might happen. So do not think that they will ask you a question, a simple one like, would you lie to the customers? No, who would say yes? No, everybody would say no, sir, I would not lie. When they get a little deeper into it and say things like, if it's good for the bank, if it's good for the business, if it's good for your superior, for you, for your promotion and all such things, and it's not harming the customer at the same time, this is where you'll start feeling, alright, you're the win, all wins.
That is the point, if you can lie for the bank, you will someday lie against Absolutely. The bank also. Yeah. So you have no, integrity left after that. Let me make it even harder. Tomorrow, if you don't lie, the State Bank of India collapses. Will you lie or not? Has to be. आपको पता है, nothing will change if you say yes. They're just testing you there. No, the bank, I think, should have done better. If it has done so bad that my lie can only save it, then it better be doomed. Right? Don't say like that. Yeah, but sir, if I'll still feel, I will not lie, and I'll still feel that there must be a way in which this bank can be taken out of trouble. If not, we have done so poorly, then government take the final call on that. But I will not lie.
So Samir, you said you will never lie to the bank. Let's say the need of the business or the needs of the bank makes you lie to the customer or wants you to lie to the customer. It's in the benefit of the bank. For generating some business, it's not doing any harm to the customer, right? Some manipulation, harmless. Would you be able to do that?
No, sir. Lying is completely out of question for me, sir.
I told you it's not going to harm the customer. It's in fact, it on the contrary might benefit the customer by saying a small lie, it might benefit in the sense that you might be able to guide the customer in buying a right product and stuff like that, and obviously it will benefit you in terms of incentives in the bank as well. So even in that case, you will not be flexible.
No, sir. Lying is out of question for me. I'll try to convince him the right way. He'll be taking shortcut. If I can convince him by saying a lie, I think I can also convince him by saying truth.
Okay. Let's assume you start working and your superior is dishonest, or let's say not dishonest, but into such things. What would you do?
Sir, I have been working as a clerk for some time now, and whatever I have heard, there of course there were time when people in advances and loan, it's been heard that they used to take some cut, etc. The way things work in our bank, the subjectivity is out of question. We have very objective way how a loan is passed, etc. So somebody is capable will get the loan. And as far as my profile and my training is concerned, I was not trained to say have vigilance over my superior directly. So and if I understand, if he comes and talks to me that let's get involved and do something fishy, I'll straight away tell him that's definitely not possible. It's out of question, and I might even report him to his superior. So that I know, because there might be because I'm at blind side here, sir, not knowing what he's actually doing, and it will be again beyond my job description to go and look into what he's doing.
So what I see you saying is that if he approaches with you with a proposal that involves some kind of unfair or any such practice, you might report.
Yes, that means if he's just testing me, maybe I'll straight away say no to, and I'll give him a.
And if you know that he's not testing you and he's actually serious,
it'll be very difficult to gauge. So I think the first time when he approaches me, I'll tell him, sir, it's beyond question. And if you are testing me, for sure.
He keeps approaching, you will keep saying
no. I'll never do that second time. I immediately, even in the first time when he comes and talks to me, I'll say him, sir, this is not done. That will never happen if you're trying to test me.
And would you report as well?
The first time I'll say, I'm not taking it as a joke or test. Next time, if anything like this happen, I'll report it to your superior.
But it might have some serious repercussions.
If I have to live like that, I better leave the job, sir. I'll not do that.
Okay, one last question on this, Samir. Let's say he does not approach you.
Okay.
But you feel as if he is doing something that he should not do. What would you do in that case?
Sir, again, as I told you, if I am feeling that sitting inside the bank that he's doing something fishy, which I told you I do not have complete oversight upon, I believe that even his superior will have better look at what he's doing. At the same time, the word of mouth, if I have heard, then that means definitely some customers are talking. Even the vigilance group will know about it and will take the appropriate action. It won't be right for me to kind of be super vigilant here and report here, because I do not. If I have concrete evidence, someone comes and gives me he has taken, I will talk to him and I'll report it. But again, I think it's beyond my description.
I hope you got the message now. I mean, I grilled him as much as I could on this, and this is a tough one. Reporting the superior to higher authorities and all such questions, and you're always scared of this. So this is not true just for somebody who's working. This might be given as a situational question to any of you. You start working, you think your superior is dishonest. What would you do? Now, it's a tricky question. If you say I would not report, this is bad. If you say I report, then this is also bad. You think yaar ye to report hi karta rahega na. So the way he handled it was good in the sense that he said, sir, it might be that I do not understand what he is up to because I'm very new to the system. So I'll give it some time, try and understand what he's up to. If I've got some concrete evidence, then I'll probably report. Otherwise, I'll give it some time and see what happens. Moreover, if he's dishonest, there is a superior over him as well. He would definitely come into notice. There are customers who would report, and also it's not that all the responsibility for running the bank in an honest manner falls on him, right? Just think about it. Before that was also happening. So if the guy is so dishonest that he is creating a trouble to you, would definitely have created troubles to some others as well. So all these things are there. So just handle it well. Do not say a very strong yes or a no. A no is bad, even a yes is a bad, because then showing that rebel streak of yours straight away at the time of the interview. किसी ने भी कुछ भी करा मैं तो सीधा report कर दूंगा. So you're saying you're honest, you have that integrity, but at the same time you're reasonable in the sense that you'll try and look into what might be the case, and then take an appropriate action. Samir, if I ask you to choose between your job and your family, you have to choose one, what would you choose?
Sir, that's again it's a difficult question.
You need to be honest here.
Sir, I'm just starting my job now, and I think even my family will support me in my decision if I say that for me the job will be the most important thing here. But at the same time, sir, I cannot say I do not think about my family at all. It should be a balance, but if you want me to choose, sir, currently I have only bank on my mind.
Okay, you want to be a banker desperately.
Yes, sir.
What do you think is more important, to be a good speaker or a good listener? Think about your job profile and then tell me.
Again, sir, I think both are important. As when I become a manager there, I have to first listen to the customer, what his expectation is. Sometimes maybe I might have something very good to offer him right away, but I still should listen to what he has in mind so that I can present the product that I have in a better way. So I feel first listen, understand, and then to present my offering to him, I'll also have to be a good speaker. So
you are saying both are important. I'm asking you which one of the two is more important.
Again, sir, I think if you want me to choose one.
Yes, I want you to choose one of the two.
Here, I think, sir, if I listen to him attentively, if I have to, kind of take a stand here, I'll choose listening. I think to customer will be more important.
So speaking takes a backseat for you.
Not really, sir. I told you that's also important. Only then I'll be able to offer and sell. But if I don't listen to him, he will not be able to listen to me. I might have the best product to offer to him, but he might see me as rude and someone who is just trying to kind of force my product on him. So at my present role, I think I should be a good listener first.
So tell me, what kind of a role in a bank? In what kind of a role in a bank would you say, your opinion, that speaking becomes the primary skill? Can you think of a role like that?
Sir, at this time, whatever little I know about the hierarchy, I have not interacted with many seniors. Till now, I have only my branch manager. And from there, I could answer this question if I have to choose what he does more and what will be more beneficial for the bank. Above that, I have not seen, but it's my understanding that as we move above the hierarchy, I think speaking out the plans and ideas to many of the subordinates like us will be more important.
And there is no need to listen to the subordinates. Okay, Samir, how many marks would you give to yourself in this interview out of 100?
Yeah, putting me in difficult spot again.
You wish might be granted. Who knows?
Sir, I feel that I have been able to answer my questions satisfactorily here.
Okay.
And if you also feel so, I love to get 100 here.
100.
I'd love to get 100 here, but yeah, it's totally your call, sir.
We will not give you 100 then.
Maybe then 90.
Right. So it's a tough question. So कोई answer नहीं होता यार. It's a tough one.
Just see what mood the panel is in. If they are really serious about it, say, sir, whatever you best, say 80, 85, 90, that's there. If they are, kind of friendly, you can just pass on, sir. 100 would be very good. Something like that.
When putting a number is tough यार. देखो अगर आप बोलते हो 80, so what it tells you is that
आप खुद ही
confident नहीं हो उसके बारे में ना. If you are saying 100, then probably a little presumptuous in the sense you are saying मैंने सब कुछ ठीक किया. It's a tricky one. So say something like this, sir. I hope I have been able to answer all these questions to your satisfaction. If what I'm feeling is right, I probably expect the maximum. So it's up to you. But yes, I just hope that I've been able to answer this well. So I'll expect good marks. That's going to help me in getting a job in your esteemed organization, which is my ultimate aim at the moment. So yes, sir, hoping for the best. Think of something like that. So Samir, what do you understand by financial inclusion?
Sir, I think financial inclusion started, I think if you have to talk about the genesis of it, it started from 2008 with a committee's report. What happened was, we are seeing that a lot of people are still unbanked. The financial services are not yet, have reached them. And because of that, many of the poor people fall prey to loan sharks and the say traditional method of going to jamindars and pledging their lands, etc. So all that used to happen. So the idea was, if the growth has to happen, it has to happen holistically. No growth is complete if it does not reach to the masses. So with that, the idea, the financial inclusion started, and we started giving them a banking facility. We started opening a lot of bank account for them. Some of them who had money to deposit, they should be able to come to the bank and deposit. Some of them who have a good business plan but they do not have any banking facility, we started giving them loans. So all these things, like now we have banking correspondence, we have the Jandan account Yojana, in which even our banks have played a very significant role, allowing a lot of other payment banks, etc., where non-banking places had to be included. So all these steps have been taken to bring everyone under the ambit of finance, so that they at least get the facility to having those deposit as well as the facility to loan, so that they can involve in more productive activities and not falling for the loan sharks and jamindars.
Then you must have heard of Mudra Bank.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What
sir.
is it?
I think so. Mudra loans, they're typical. I think all the banks are giving these Mudra loans, collateral free for non-agriculture part. So for agriculture, we already have a lot of priority lending. So for the Mudra, they started with the vision that for the non-agriculture part, if there are small and medium enterprises who need small loans, they can get it. And there was a lot of problem for these guys to get money, because a lot of collateral and then guarantees and all those things were happening. So for now, what has happened, they can get it collateral free and with minimum hassle. So that's how the Mudra loan, non-agriculture for the small and medium enterprises. They have the main target.
But anybody can get any amount then in that case?
Sir, actually there is a classification for that also. Okay. So we have 3 categories of loan that is generally distributed. The max is only up to 10 lakhs. Okay. So we have Shishu, Tarun and Kishore.
Okay.
So it's 0 to 50,000. That's Shishu. Tarun will be from 5 to 50,000 to 5 lakh, and 5 to 10 lakh will be the Kishore.
Okay. What is the difference between white label ATM and brown label ATM?
Yes, sir. So again, the white label ATMs, they got, I think, banking license, if I remember correctly, sir, from 2013 onwards. What happened was this was again part of, you can say, the financial inclusion. So get more and more places under this facility for people to go and withdraw their money. So what happened, the normal banks could not reach everywhere. So if there are non-banking financial companies who are interested into getting into this service, licenses were given to them. If you had heard of Tata's IndiCash, that was the first white label ATM. So what happens is, they do all the activities from renting the location, putting up the machine, and all the operations, loading the cash on, and all the activities, but they do not have the banking license. For that, they have a sponsor bank which gives them the cash, and also all the interbank transactions happen through that sponsor bank. And what is the nature? These guys will, after settling the dues, they will get the commission. So if a sponsored bank of IndiCash, if I remember, sir, is the federal bank, they will provide the cash, etc. So suppose SBI person goes, so he will be paid the commission for transacting. So that is how they will make money. The brown label, sir, on the other hand, will have, I forgot to mention, sir, in the white label, they will have the label of the company which is doing it. Like the IndiCash from Tata, it will be written IndiCash. The sponsor bank label is not there. But in if I have the brown label ATM, there what happens, it's basic, for all practical purposes, it looks like the own bank ATM, and it has all the logo, everything. What happens is, bank outsources the activity, the operational part. So the renting of place, setting up of machine, and all the operational activity that happens around. The cash again will come from the bank only, but they will also have the logo. So for doing all these transactions, the operational activity, they charge the fee and then some commission.
Please tell me what is the meaning of NPAs?
Sir, NPA stands for non-performing assets. Assets for us in bank is the loans that we advance.
Right.
So it becomes non-performing when it stops giving us the income. That's the interest that we were supposed to get. So that's the general definition of NPAs.
What are the kinds of NPAs broadly?
Broadly, sir, NPAs are classified in three kinds. So generally the asset is the standard asset. So when it becomes NPA, it becomes substandard asset. Okay, and then it becomes doubtful, and then finally it becomes loss asset. So there are three kinds basically. And if I have to define it also, sir, then your substandard will be if it is NPA for up to 12 months. That's substandard. So yeah, the second one, if it is remaining substandard for 12 months, yeah, then it becomes doubtful. Okay. And finally, it becomes loss. Is basically we for all practical purpose assume that we'll not be able to recover this, but it's still not written off.
So, I mean, how does it happen? It happens directly like that? You change the status, or is there a way? I mean, how does it happen?
Yes, sir. When we give loan, the NPA basically starts from the 90 days. A loan becomes 90 days if it is not, say, the interest payment there or whatever the payment terms were. If it does not happen beyond 90 days of the due date. Okay. Yeah. So from what happens, we in bank, we start tracking from that day 0 itself. So from 0 to 30, we look at, is that a genuine problem? Maybe there is just a check which is on the way, etc. So we kind it as special mention account and NF. So non-financial stress. The company does not have any problem, etc. We classify that as special mention account NF. So that means the money will come. We are very sure that the money will come. Nothing to worry about. If we see there is some problem there, we mention it as SM0, wherein between 0 to 30 days, if it has not come and we feel there is some problem there. So we are very proactive on that measure. I think it was again RBI guideline which kind of changed all this, and they wanted us to not wait for the NPA and start monitoring things on a regular basis. From 30 to 60 days, again, that becomes SM1, and then SM2 is from 60 to 90 days. And then after 90 days, after due date, that becomes NPA. So that's the process.
Okay. Are you aware, is there a difference between the criteria for NPA, classifying NPA when it comes to agriculture vis-a-vis other sectors?
Yes, sir. In fact, many recent articles also from the SBI chief, from various banks, they are talking about, I think, HDFC, all of them are having problem giving the loan to the agriculture sector because the NPA norms are a little different and it really becomes very difficult for them to recover. What happens is we give when we advance the loan to the farmer, we give them 2 crop because it's seasonal. I cannot expect someone, if I give them the loan now, and he just take care of his crop, some part of the money will come now, but the most of the thing he will not be able to again plant his next crop. So how traditionally it has been, we give him 2 crop cycle leeway. So suppose say the Rabi crop here, he takes the loan from me in the September. Okay, so his expected all the cutting etc. will happen by the February, March, and he will get some money by that time that he uses in the Kharif, and then comes the next Rabi. So what is expected this September 2018, what loan I gave, that in the say month of April 2020. Yeah, so almost 1.5 years is the time that these guys, our farmers get to repay the loan. Once from there, I start counting the due. So that's the general leeway, and that's the difference between the other asset versus the agriculture loan, the longer crop loan I'm talking about.
Right. So these are a few questions about NPAs that you can expect. Again,
long duration crop. So there are many categories, the short duration crop, etc. But this is the general, the long duration crop that I'm talking about.
Tell me, what is the difference between a pledge, mortgage, and hypothecation? Explain.
Okay, sir. As I was talking about the loans, etc., that we give, there also I think we have the hypothecation. How is it? How it happens is generally all the movable assets. Yeah, the general rules are what we were taught in the training was anything which is not attached to the ground. Yeah, so that will come under hypothecation.
Immovable.
Immovable. They are sorry, the movable. The which are not attached. The which are attached will be with the immovable. So hypothecation are for movable. So your car, yeah. So with that logic, sir, the crop becomes a mortgage item. But since it can be easily cut and moved, so that is again under hypothecation.
Okay.
Yeah. So and mortgage will be our house. Yeah, the land, etc. Something that cannot be moved. So they come under the category of mortgage. Anything that can be moved, tractor, say my crop, and then say if I have anything like two-wheeler, if I have taken for purpose of carrying my farm produce, etc., they will all come under hypothecation. Pledge, sir, is generally the high value item, where like gold, if I want to girvi rakhna, so I give it and take money on that behalf. That is pledge. So that's the difference.
Okay.